Hello there.
Good morning to you folks.
Good
Good
morning.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hi,
And
Mark.
hello, Mark.
Good morning, Peter. Good morning, Dr. Annika. John, Al, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Mark,
a
for
bit of-
me and you is still morning. For the rest of them, it's either afternoon or night.
Yeah, it's
Whoa.
2 p.m. here. Peter has the latest, I guess.
8 o'clock here in the evening.
Ah, there's Tina.
Morning,
got
Tina.
Nice to
Good.
see
an email. It got sent to spam.
Yep. That's how the system works nowadays.
Do you ever have problems trying to log into Zoom?
Not really.
Sometimes, yeah.
Only
Yeah.
when I got too many windows open.
Yeah, that's a problem. Always a problem.
The only reason I ask is because every time I get a Windows update, I lose Zoom.
Hmm.
Don't update Windows.
It's easy solution.
Being the technical expert that I am, Mr. Allen,
Hey,
you're probably right.
did you see the message that Trump sent Bill Gates?
Oh,
He said, fix your damn system. Make it work right.
What was
Awesome.
he alluding to? I don't understand.
Sorry, what was that,
Was-
Peter?
What was he alluding to?
He's doesn't exactly always like Windows, so it was a case of fix the damn system.
Oh, okay,
And
Windows.
Was that now or was it earlier?
no, that was just recently.
Because
Gates
right
was
now,
busy telling him.
awesome.
right now he is busy destroying Europe. So
Well, he's trying to destroy America as well.
I know.
So, yeah, Trump's message was just to fix it. Stay the hell out of politics and people's lives.
Let's not go down a political route, John.
No,
Ooh. Okay, well, look, I think we'll get started. There's others joining us, but our topic for today, everybody, is why cash flow is the lifeline of your business. Okay. And it's something that I think that most small business owners face from time to time, if not permanently. And I put my hand up, I'm guilty of this. I've had issues. I mean, I'll be brutally honest here. Unless I earn a minimum of $12,000 a month, I don't put food on the table. Right? I need a minimum of 12,000 before I can start buying food for the family. So cash flow is something that I'm facing day in and day out. That's what it amounts to, right? Does it mean my business is not working? No, my business, I'm really happy with the business, right? It's just the fact that I have a commitment in terms of my family, with a health situation with my daughter, that requires me to make sure that I am working harder than I need to be. That's my point. So I'm being honest now, right? And I'm looking at you, Anita, and I'm saying that because of your issues with stress management and leadership. And I'm thinking, every time I see a post of yours, it makes me think, my God, she's got me well and truly. Anyway, that's the topic for today. Cash flow, the lifeline of your business.
Peter, can I interrupt here for just a second?
Yeah, I'm finished.
You're talking about cash flow. These people that collect likes, they could take their likes down to the bank and deposit them and pull out the cash.
Good. Can I bank with them?
how does that work? Tell me.
Yeah. Tina and Annika and I are waiting for the introduction, John. So what's the name of the bank?
I'm waiting for them too.
Anyway, in terms of cash flow, let's put it on the table, okay? And this is open discussion, okay? This is not a lecture. I don't want it to be, but to me, one of the most important things about cash flow, if you are employing people, whether they are VAs or whatever it is, then you need to be able to ensure that you're paying them salaries. If you don't pay them, you're not going to keep them very long anyway. That's one thing that's pretty important, right? But even more important, and I question this, and I am guilty of doing this. For many years when I set up as a solopreneur, I actually didn't draw money out of the business. I didn't do that, right? I didn't draw a salary out of the business. I paid myself last. And I think that was pretty stupid in hindsight when you think about it, right? But that's a comment I'd like to sort of toss on the table. What do people think about that? Are you drawing an income out of your business on a regular basis, or are you getting it, or are you trying to take money when you possibly can, or do you have another source of income? That's another option. Okay. So over to you. Don't all speak at once.
You know, I'm like like you, Peter. You take it out at the end, and we've all heard the pay yourself first, and that is such a powerful principle, and we all need to do that. I know, like you, I'm guilty of not doing it, so that's one thing that I need to start doing.
Alan, what about you? What, you got your hand up?
Hi, Peter. Hi, everybody. Yeah, you're absolutely right. You need income in order to pay your outgoings. So what I am endeavoring to do is to get multiple streams of income from different sources. So in terms of property, that's some income from cash flow streams, like letting out property on a short-term basis. And the other things that I do are development of property, that is conversion of empty or unused buildings, underused buildings into residential. These are very capital intensive, so they don't generate any cash at all. You're pouring money into them, and then eventually after a year, 18 months, sometimes 2 years, you get a payback once you sell or are able to refinance and rent the properties out. So my business demands a cash flow. So what I'm in the process of doing is trying to acquire properties for cash flow purposes. So you can acquire properties by some clever strategies like purchase lease options, which basically means you rent them and then you buy them a few years down the road by agreement. You've got the option to buy them, but not the obligation to buy them. So I'm in the process of upping my cash flow stream because I suffer from cash flow crises from time to time, and I'm trying to address it by bringing on board people, collaborating with people who will help me to sort of raise my game on different parts of the property business that I'm involved in. So that's my take on it, Peter. Thank you very much.
Good. I mean, if you don't have a healthy cash flow, then quite often you're going to make decisions based on desperation rather than the right strategy. That's my gut feel for this, right? And if you're making decisions based on desperation, that's not necessarily the right way to run your business. And the other thing from my point of view, and I'm being very, very open and personal here because this is a really important question facing many, many small businesses. But for me, without consistent cash flow, there's more stress associated with the business. That's what it amounts to, right? There's no doubt about that. If you can have a consistent cash flow, right, then the levels of stress that you are facing and the needs you have to go and talk to Dr. Annika, okay, or to talk to Tina because all of a sudden you've got a divorce on your hands, right? Whatever it is, that cash flow can give you peace of mind. That's my point. So anyway, Mark, what about you? What do you think?
Well, I'm really interested to get everybody's take, but I just want to share a couple of things. First of all, John, you made some fantastic points on one of my posts, and I'm going to turn that into a LinkedIn post because it's just dynamite. But along those lines, we just had the Super Bowl in America, and they say that they spent, Peter, listen at this, $8 million per every 30-second ad spot. So one of the guys commented and tried to break it down, said, oh, Mark, it's branding. And when you really break it down, it's like $62 an eyeball. Here's the problem with that. And for you people just getting started, in my opinion, don't get hung up on this branding stuff, because as Peter said, without cash flow, you don't have a business. You might have a glorified hobby, but you do not have a business. What good does it do to pay $62 an eyeball when some of these eyeballs are in junior high school, elementary school? They're 80 years old. Are they really your prime prospects? So who cares what you paid for them for eyeball? The point is, you need revenue to run a business. If you don't get revenue, you're either going to see Tina or you're going to see Dr. Annika, but you're not going to have a business. So what I try to focus on is generating revenue. John Allen, this gentleman you're looking through in the top, he's brilliant with coming up. You come up with the foundation, and John will take it like that for you. So the point, and think about what Alan just said. You use a lease option purchase to delay perhaps purchasing. You're banking on the fact maybe get some appreciation, some debt reduction. But what if you don't? Now, I know with real estate, that's like, unless it's like a really piece of garbage property, it probably won't happen. But my point is, what Peter is stressing, and we're all stressing, get to the cash, the revenue. Learn how to decrease your costs. Learn how to increase your revenue. Don't worry about branding in the beginning. Generate some revenue. I'm off my soapbox.
Good soapbox. Well said.
Okay, shall I go?
By all means, and don't forget to put your contact details in the chat, because I'm going to put this onto YouTube in the next few days if I can get my VA organised in time. And so we'll have your contact details there. Annika, please, over to you.
Yeah, if I have a business or not a business, a hobby or not a hobby, depends on how you see it. Today, I can always go out and work as a doctor, so I do always have a business in that sense. And that's kept me alive over the years. Earlier, I used to also take out the money for the living, but today I have my pension, and my husband's, so we personally live on that. And my business, I do fun things in my business for the money that I earn. And occasionally I get clients in my real business, the one that I want to have, because my aim is to have all my money coming from the stress management business one way or the other, speaking gigs or mentoring or workshops and so on. And my online course that I'm still on the process of doing. But until I get enough so that it will roll around, I will have to go out and work in the healthcare from time to time. And fortunately for me, it's still fairly easy to get a job anywhere in this country for a week or two without too much hustle. They are trying to change the system, and I agree that the system would be better without us hopping in and out because of what the patients get. But that's a structure problem, and it's so if they don't meet me when I come, they will have nobody because there is a lack. So I get by. I work a lot from time to time, and then I don't work that much in the healthcare and do stuff like what we're doing right now and so on. I do have a virtual assistant that is helping me and that I had for 4 years, and my main importance is that I always have money to pay her.
Good. Because the other thing about cash flow is that I've had situations in the past when cash flow has been tight for me and opportunities have presented themselves, and I'm not in a position to take advantage of that opportunity because of the cash flow problem that I've got. So, and that hurts sometimes because you know that's exactly what you should do, right? But you're not doing it. And so that's another reason why it's important to have a consistent cash flow. And by the way, I'm thinking what you just said, Annika, there may be opportunities for you and Tina to work together. Okay, I mean, I would encourage you both to think about that. You know, I don't want to impose it. So,
We've
yeah.
got a point where we're set to talk, so.
Oh, good. Well, now, Tina, what about you?
So I'm very much like Annika, but my health field is natural health. So I haven't been in my field for about 5 years. And so now that I moved and I have my office and everything set up, I have a massage table where I can start working on, because I'm in mind-body medicine. I'm a master mind-body worker. And so it kind of melds into what I'm able to do with my clients. And so I will have those two streams, Alan talked about the multiple streams. And so at least there'll be two streams, because I had lost a stream once my husband died. So getting back into this, and it's an art for me. I don't know how Annika feels about her work in the health field, but for me, it's such an art, and it's such a blessing for me to be able to calm the space and calm me down and slow way down to do the work that I do. So that's it.
Yeah, it is an art.
Tell me more about that. Why did you say it's an art? I'd love to hear more about that, Tina.
Well, it truly is an art. So what I'm able to do, so a lot of people understand what palm readers are, they read the lines of the palm. Well, in mind-body medicine, what is believed and understood is that we have a trauma that happens, or something that's negative in our life. And so it automatically gets sucked in. Say we're driving along the road and a deer jumps out in front of us. The first thing we do is we go, and we suck that in. So literally we bring in that oxygen and trap it. And it's just like the memory of a serious situation. Maybe the wife throws a dish at the man, or he slaps her. And so they suck in that, literally trapping it into the muscle. And if we don't get it out of that muscle, and each muscle has its own group of memories. It's not just one memory can just be located somewhere in the body. No, it's that specific. So when I touch the body, I can feel how it's trapped inside there. I bring up what the memory is, because of where it's at, I will know. And then we talk about it. So there's one way to get it out. And then the next way to get it out is to relax the muscle, to let it go. And then I always tell my clients that you want to do some physical activity. Run, do something, a brisk walk, or punch a punching bag. I'm a martial artist, so that was my thing. And so that movement, literally moving the muscles, and then talking about it and getting all of the energy, literally, physically moving, gets it from the trapped position in the body.
And you can do this online?
I can't do it all online, but I can coach somebody online. We can talk about it. You tell me where the pain is in the body. We talk about the memory that's located there. Then I give you the series of exercises that I want you to do. And I usually tell you to find a massage therapist that you can go to, so that you can work that specific area. And then you come back to me and we talk again about the muscle and how it feels.
Makes sense. Sorry, John, I interrupted you.
I was going to say, what do you do for somebody that has a pain in the ass?
So that literally, honestly, that's where all of our garbage goes. All of the shit of our life goes down there. And so it traps in the low back and the hip structure area. And so those people need lots of work, because it's been there for a long time.
Any other thoughts on cash flow?
Answer my smart ass question.
I knew it.
Peter, if I could share one other concept, because it may not apply to Tina, but I think about this all the time. Let's suppose I run a mom and pop corner store, you know the variety type store I'm talking about. And John runs a retail appliance center. He's got one store, thinking about expanding. John comes into the store on Monday for his Monday morning meeting, and we chop it up about women, politics, and whatever else, we're talking about. Now think about this. Let's say Tina, Dr. Annika, and Alan are all regular customers. They come in, buy coffee, a pastry, or whatever, small talk, good morning, how's it going, blah, 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 and they leave. And one day John points out to me, it's obvious to him, it's not to me. He says, Mark, what is the average profit margin on everything you sell, like a cup of coffee, your pastry? And I said, oh, John, it could be anywhere from 20 to 42%. John says, okay. He says, you know, when I put a home entertainment system on sale and a closeout, he said, my hard cost is about half. He said, I'm going to sell that thing. It's $6,000. I'm going to sell it for $3,000. I still got a $3,000 profit. I said, wow, that's nice, John. He says, I tell you what I do, Mark. If you start passing out these time-sensitive cards, I got two sides. Side A tells them to enter my free drawing for a chance to win. 2 winners guaranteed a month, 1 gentleman, 1 lady. So both feel like they got an equal chance. And the other side tells them to come to the store. If they come along, they save 10% up to $100. They drag a friend who's at least 18. They save up to 40%. I mean, excuse me. Yeah, up to 40%, up to $2,000 or X to X. Like, don't get caught up on the numbers. Get the concept. Here's the point. John says to me, he says, Mark, every time one of these you pass out and have your name referred by Mark Newsom, you print your name. Every time one of these sells, the first 10, I'm going to give you $100. I said, wow, really? He says, as soon as you reach 11 on, I'm going to cap it at $200 every time. He says, you do 10 of those in a month, you got $2,000. Now, here's my point. Do I make more money selling Dr. Annika a muffin and coffee or passing out one of John's extremely time-sensitive discount certificates? We both know the answer. So the point is, if I could do this with John, could I do it with Peter? Could I do it with Tina? Absolutely. Now what are you doing? You're creating revenue, people. Revenue. In fact, John could take it a step further and say, Mark, every time you bring me 20 customers in a month, I'll pay the lease, your commercial lease. What? When I'm away from the business, you think I won't keep these cards with me now? You better believe I will. So the point I'm trying to make is you can create cash flow if you get the right mindset. It's not about what you and I do. It's about what we can become. And John is brilliant at this. I got to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't set a time with this man, you need to do it. Peter as well. Now, Peter's my long-term marketing mentor and friend and coach. But I'm just telling you, John sees stuff a lot of us don't see. So the point I was trying to make simply is this. The back end of your business might become the most profitable if you get open to generating revenue. Now, if your industry, like say Dr. Annika, they say, oh, no way, you can't do that. Then she can leverage as her brand. We'd have to go into a whole other thing. But the point being, there's a lot of profit sitting out here, ladies and gentlemen. You could make a lot more money simply by being a bridge to somebody else's business. It's very important. Thank you, Peter.
You know, Mark, when you mentioned the word mindset, and the point you were talking about is valid. There's no doubt about that. But it took me back. For 14 years here in Thailand, we ran a handmade Thai silk business, right? And it was extremely profitable. Extremely profitable. We were competing against some of the biggest in the world, both from China, from India, and also within Thailand itself, okay? But because we had it was all handmade, because it was all organic, no chemicals involved, nothing at all, okay? It was a unique product. In fact, it was so unique that it was genuine Thai silk, but you could throw it in the washing machine with your underwear and no problem, okay? It was extremely durable, and we gave a lifetime guarantee on our products. And that's why we thought we were running an incredible business. But you know what? We were fooling ourselves. And the reason is because we were absolutely underpricing what we should have been doing. And one day, this lady from Russia, who was a very good client of ours, called us and she said, I'm coming to Thailand. I want to come and see my silk being made, because we used to do videos of them and send out the video. If Annika ordered some scarves or a wedding dress or whatever it may have been, we would create a video of the weaver making Annika's silk so she could see it. And she would talk to Annika about, this is what's happening, da, 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 and Annika could see it. And the idea we were doing was buying time, because being handmade, not machine made, it takes time to get it done, right? But at the same time, we were selling the actual quality that they were getting, and our customers loved it because they were being treated like very special guests. But this lady from Russia said, I'm coming out. So she came out there. She came to see us, and she was the beginning of most of our top clients made the effort to come out to see us at their expense. We didn't ask them to do that, right? And all of them said to us, why are you doing what you're doing? We are selling, I can't remember exactly, I'll make a figure up here. Let's say we were selling it for $15 a meter, right? This same silk, right, without the actual organic colouring that we put into it, right, was being sold for nearly $75 a metre in Italy, or $93 in the United States when they were importing it from China, and they were buying it from China for about $10 and selling it for 90 odd, right? And I said, why are you selling it for 16? You're crazy. Okay. And so we thought, So we took a really big step. We doubled it to $32, which was still half the price of everybody else, right? But that doubled our cash flow. But more important than that, it tripled our cash flow, because all of a sudden we got more orders. And the reason we got more orders is because people now didn't doubt that we were selling second-class silk. Before, that was an element in their mind that maybe this is not good quality because it's too cheap. We were selling against ourselves. So when you think of cash flow, in your business, I'm asking you, are you charging what you're worth? Because we were not charging what we're worth. Okay? We were not charging that. And we thought we were doing well, but to be honest with you, we weren't drawing any income out of that. Okay, we were simply paying for projects within our village in terms of looking after children, education, and things like that, right? But we weren't drawing any income out of that at all. And we should have been doing that because it was a business, but we weren't doing it. So to me, cash flow, a critical point of cash flow is, are you getting what you're really worth? And I mean, I am totally transparent, okay? My fee structures for clients are $1,500 a month, right? That's what they are. And to me, that's important, because if I want to charge them $50 a month, they're going to think, well, what's going on here? Crazy, right? And so I'm asking you, are you actually charging what you're really worth? And are you getting the cash flow that you genuinely need? And if not, and you'd like some help with that area, this is not a coaching opportunity, by the way. I can give it to you, okay? There are ways that you can go about looking at the offer that you have, and are you actually undercharging what you're truly worth? And how to go about adjusting that. And I think for some people that may be a valuable thing, and I can put that into our group. Okay, I'll give it in there. You can have a look at it. And there's no charge involved. It's my way of being supportive to you. That's all. All right. Anyway, food for thought. Are you charging what you're worth?
Mark, would you be interested in talking to the people on the same arrangement?
Of course. In fact, like Peter said, we're here to give value. In fact, just as Peter was talking and Tina was talking, man, my mind started racing. But I wanted to say this because, Peter, you hit on so many important points. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, let's say Tina, Dr. Annika, all three of us are in the same business. We're in the same strip mall. My price, Dr. Annika's price, is higher than Tina's. But you know what? Because Tina understands marketing and promoting and branding, she can create a back end, leave her front base price the same, create multiple streams on the back end, And that's why she could leave her price the same. So when people say, well, the guy, Mark, 2 doors down is so high. And she says, well, for one reason, the rents are so high in this building. And every time his expenses go up, he has to try to raise his prices to keep his profit margins the same. I don't have that issue because I have a way of keeping my expenses down. In fact, Peter, there's a jeweler, I cannot think of the name. There was a jeweler that says, we will sell your first diamond ring at 33% and a third above cost. And then they told you the reason why they could do it.
Oh, yeah.
That's powerful. When you understand cash flow, revenue generation, and as John would say, how to decrease your cost, the sky's the limit, people. You can do what John is talking about, what Peter is talking about. They can do that because they know how to generate revenue. It's a mindset first, in my opinion. You got to get open to it. And when you get open to it, you'll see that, like, for instance, Alan could make an arrangement with, I don't know, local companies where whenever somebody leases a property, they get an envelope full of extremely time-sensitive discounted coupons. And all Alan is using that revenue to is to pay the property tax. You follow what I'm saying? I mean, he could get more creative if he wants to, but the point is there is a lot of opportunity out here, but because you think linear and the people you network think linear, you don't see it. It's been there the whole time. Like if Tina did whatever she does, examine my body, she could tell me, Mark, my God, you got this going on, that going on, that. I didn't know. So you are in the right place, ladies and gentlemen. You see this 6 panel of experts here. You got a lot of knowledge, experience, unique experience, different knowledges that can help you get to the next level. I joined this because I wanted to network more with Peter. Then I met John, I met Alan, I met Dr. Annika. Now I met Tina and I have actually spoke. If you haven't booked a time, book a time with Tina and John. But you need to do this, ladies and gentlemen. This is how you expand.
Peter, to my point, why don't you put the 3 of us, you and I, and Mark down, that people, if they want to reach out and talk to any of us about this, they can. That was my point there, Mark, that, we're willing to talk and share. So make use of it. The other thing to go along with your cash flow is take a look at your COI, your cost of inaction. There are so many people that are losing so much money because they don't do anything. I want more money, I want this, I want that. But if you don't Goya, get off your ass, it's never going to happen. You could sit there and think about it all day long. It's not going to happen. You have to take action. The other thing you have to look at is, what is it costing you to not take that action? One of the questions I ask people is, when did you first realize you had a problem? Well, X, Y, Z ago. What have you tried to do to solve it on your own? X, Y, Z. How did that work for you? Well, it hasn't worked out very good. What do you think it's actually cost you in actual dollars and cents to not solve your problem? Because if you don't solve that problem, your cash flow can be very seriously affected. So take a look at that as well.
Yeah, it's interesting because I mentioned earlier that from a fee structure in terms of generating cash flow, I normally would charge $1,500 a month for 30 days, right? But that's not set in concrete. Quite often I only charge $1,000. It depends on the person. But I do not charge $25. That's the point I'm really trying to get at, right? That's the key. And just about 4 hours ago, a very nice lady named Patricia. She's from Birmingham in the United Kingdom. And she reached out to me because I created these little videos and I stick them up on LinkedIn. And I also then put them into 3 or 4 groups. And they're just 2 or 3 minutes long. And they challenge people's way of thinking about sales. That's what it amounts to, right? And I invite them to message me if they're interested. And Patricia sent me this message. And the message was, Peter, I'm sending you a connection request on LinkedIn because that last video, it made me feel like I was sitting in the front row and you were talking directly to me. That was the greatest feedback she could have given me, right? Nothing else. Anything else she said after that, I didn't really care because she just gave me exactly the feedback I wanted. Okay, beautiful. But she said, that's the reason I'm connecting with you. Do you mind? And I said, fine. And 3 hours ago, I spoke. This happened about a week ago. And about 3 hours ago, we finally, cut a long story short, we got on this call, okay? And we're talking about her business and how she's going about things. And her biggest problem was this. She didn't feel she was worth charging what she should be charging, right? And I said, Patricia, if you feel that way, so will the potential client feel that way. And they'll pick it up extremely quickly. Why are you saying to me that you can't give the transformation to people between from point A to point B? She said, no, I can do it. I said, well, then where's the problem? Where's the problem? And the problem is here, right? That's where the problem is. It's in here. Because she is used to spending $10 and $20 and $40, right? Not $100 or $500 or $1,000. And if she's used to spending that way, then she expects other people to treat her the same way. And that's the problem. So be careful in your own way of doing things. If you are dealing in penny pinching ways, then you will more than likely be dealing with penny pinching clients. Okay, I'm being as truly transparent as I can here. I'm not trying to be condescending in any way, but I'm just trying to share from my experiences. This is real, and this is just Patricia's comment today was she said, Peter, can I? I said, yeah. Why don't you try it? She's not a client. She wants to be. I said, woo, 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 woo. Before you do that, why don't you test this out? So I gave her a little thing to do. I said, we're going to meet again in a week's time. I said, in a week's time, if this works for you, I want you to make sure that you send me a copy of the recording. So I'll give you a bit of feedback on it to see how you did, right? I would not normally do this because that's time that I'm spending. But I believe in this young lady, right? And I can see real value in her. And that's my point. If I can see value in people, I will go out of my way and I'll forget the normal structures in terms of fees and things to give them what they want, right? That to me is what business is really all about at the end, to believe in the quality and the potential of people. And if you can do that, then it's not just cash flow, it's fulfillment and it's satisfaction and it's the results that they get and it's the feelings that I get. I'm being selfish. The feelings I get when I can see Alan doing X, right? I think, wow, that's priceless to me.
No, Peter, that's a really great point you brought up. One of the clients I worked with was a videographer out of New Jersey, and she was charging $800 to $1,200 for a 30-second commercial. She was doing everything in there. And her and I were talking, and I said, you're way too cheap. She said, well, that's the price everybody else is charging, including some of the people at a business for about 25 years. And I said, well, hey, they're 12 short of a dozen because they're nuts. They're losing money. So we'd worked together. And after 7 months, she was resisting quite a ways, but she was realizing her price should go up. After 7 months, I suggested that she have niche down on her clients. She went to see a dentist that specialized in children's teeth. He paid her $5,000 for the same 30-second commercial. That dentist then referred her to an optometrist that dealt with little kids wearing glasses. I don't know about you. I started wearing glasses when I was 6 years old. You got teased to the 4 eyes and all the rest of that crap. That optometrist paid her $5,000 for a 30-second commercial. She said to me, I didn't think anybody would do it. I said, a lot of it, just like Peter said, it's in between here. If you got 800 to 1,200 thinking, that's all you're going to get. You got $5,000 thinking now. That's all. That's what you charge. The 800 and 1200, but people won't even come to see you. Now you've moved up in the luxury class, and her business really took off from there.
I mean, I can remember when we doubled the price of the silk. I was sort of inside me, John, I was feeling, ooh, maybe we've just killed our business, right? To go to $32 a meter. Wow. I mean, in Thailand, that's big money in Thailand, right? And $32 in Thailand goes a long way, right? In terms of the weavers we're paying and things like that, right? But it was all in here. It was all up in here, right? It took us another 6 months to get to $50 a meter. Okay. And then finally we started charging. Our final price, well, it depends on the type of silk you wanted, okay, because there's a whole lot of different varieties without going into a whole lot of detail. But we started charging $72 to $75 a meter. And the business was booming more than we ever had when we were charging $16 a meter. Okay. And we were proud to do it, and we knew that we were giving extreme value for money. There's no doubt about that. And I also remember when I started business on my own, when I first came online, which is nearly last century when you think about it, I'm showing my age here a bit. But when that happened, and they were called affiliate marketing. And Mark, remember, in our blogging days years ago, remember that? That's another era for me, and I love that, right? In those days there, I was charging, I think around about $25 to $50 an hour for my time. Okay. And I was making exactly the same mistake that I did in the silk business, right? I'm a slow learner. There's no doubt about that, a slow learner. And now I've got a mentor. One of my mentors, his name is Ari Galper, and he really gets stuck into me because I'm only charging $1,500 a month, right? He said, "Pretty, you should be charging $5,000 for guns. What's wrong with you?" So I'm still making the mistake. So what you see is what you get. But the message I'm trying to give you is at least think about it and be honest with yourself. And if you're having a problem in terms of being able to charge what you truly think you're worth, reach out to Mark and John and I, and we'll help you. I mean, that's what it's here for, right? We'll help you do that. That's the whole point of it, right? Because we work as a team here. We're not trying to compete against each other. That's the last thing on my mind, right? Anyway.
Peter, can I ask a question?
Yeah, I've said too much. I'll shush now for a while.
Peter, can I ask a question?
Sure.
I want to pose a question to you and John. I just got a DM yesterday on LinkedIn from a major influencer. And this is what the question was. Mark, are you open to getting on a call to discuss a potential collaboration? Now, what do you think I said?
No.
Yeah, right. A major influencer who reached out to me on LinkedIn. Would I be open to it? I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? So the point that I'm trying to make is when you put value out to the marketplace, you're going to get value in return. John has shared a lot of stuff with me, just shared it. I mean, I think it's like this, him giving to me giving to him, because he knows more than I know. But the point being, when you give and you really give from the heart, it's going to come back in ways I never expected that. Of course, I hoped for it, not from him per se, but I hoped for it. Then I got another DM, John, you'll love this. The potential prospect asked me, he said, Mark, I have an e-commerce site. Would you be open to a performance-based arrangement, meaning the profit that I give him, he'll give me a percentage, not a set salary fee, a percentage of. I said, dude, let's get on the phone and talk. Absolutely. Again, I didn't expect this. I wrote about it, on my blog and on LinkedIn. This guy he's taking me up on it. So the point that I'm trying to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you don't even know what you're potentially sitting on. You need to Get on the phone with some of us and get your mind expanded. And you know what's going to happen when you do? Opportunities you didn't see. Peter, have you ever, I know everybody in here has done this. Have you ever watched a movie for the second and third time and one of the dialogues you said, what did that get in the movie? I didn't catch that last time. You'll get insights you don't have. We've all done it. That's why I cling to Peter as my coach and mentor, because he's always opening me up to new ways of seeing things and doing things. And as he said, we go way back, way back. So he's been helping me for a long time. And now John doesn't know, but he's going to be doing the same thing. And possibly Tina too. Who knows? But the point I'm trying to make to you, ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, there's more opportunity out here and you know what to do it. The problem is you got your blinders on, and that's why you can't see it. Peter, how can anybody say there's a recession when companies are paying $8 million for a 30-second ad in the Super Bowl? What recession are you talking about exactly? A recession of the mind? Because it's certainly not a financial recession, not for them. Well, that's the way you and I got to approach this thing too. Opportunities here, people. Question is, are you ready for it?
Interesting. After this session finishes, I'm about to put a video up on LinkedIn, and it's called "Are You Selling Yourself Out of Business?" Right?
That's awesome.
And I didn't realize the significance of that after this conversation today. I didn't plan it that way, right? I mean, the video's been done. Okay.
Can't wait.
And really, I'm fighting against the fact that within certain groups within LinkedIn, and I'm in just 4 groups, right? And I put the video in there, and it's, as I said before, it's just to challenge people. And there are people who are saying, "Oh, that silly old bugger from Thailand said it again. He's not with it, you know, da, 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 da. All you need to do is this and this and this," right? And yet these same people are going out of business. These same people aren't getting the clients. These same people aren't getting the cash flow, right? Sure, I'm nearly 80 years of age. Sure, I'm old. I don't care about that. It doesn't matter to me. 2 squirts, right? But when you are somebody who is in small business, or you're in, even worse, if you are paid as a salesperson and you are ignoring what I'm trying to tell you, you're doing it at your own peril. That's my point. And I'm giving it to them for free, right? Here, just try this. But people are not prepared to get outside their comfort zone. They'd much rather sit back and text people and expect people to buy. Okay? And I said in this video, if you're selling tomatoes in the marketplace, then you may be able to do that. But when you're dealing with transforming people's lives, like Tina's got to do on a very emotional basis, and Annika's got to do it again in an emotional basis. That transformation that they take people through, right? You cannot do it just on a text message. You can't do it on an email. You can't do it. You can't do it with AI. AI is good. I'm not against AI. Don't misunderstand me. But people need you as a person there. That's the point. That's the point. Now, if I knew when I created the video that we were going to have this session today on cash flow, I could have added there, by the way, this could help your cash flow. I forgot I didn't do that. Anyway, enough.
One of the things I'd like to add there, Peter, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned this to Tina when we first talked, is most times I tell people to double or triple their rates because they're not charging enough. And again, they think this is all I can charge, or this was what the market charges, or all the rest of that crap. One of the examples I use is Brendan Bouchard. He's one of my mentors. When he started out, people were charging $500 for a weekend seminar. Bouchard said, screw that crap. He charged $1,500 for his weekend seminar. His very first one, he sold out. People told him he wasn't going to sell a ticket. He sold out for however many people he needed to fill the room. And again, it all came down to what's between his ears. He knew he had value. He knew there was people out there that would pay for that value. You know, and I do the same thing when I'm listening to people talk. You know, one of my things is, what's your program worth? Oh, geez, I charge $500 a month. Double it, triple it, sometimes even quadruple it, because the value you're giving people is there. The other thing, I was talking to a lady the other day and she said, well, I've only been in business for a year, so how can I charge that? I said, now I know you're more than 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What experience have you had? She said, well, I had 32 years in nursing, and she's in kind of the health deal. I said, you have 33 years experience. You don't have a year's experience. You have 33 years of knowledge. What happens to so many people is they change professions or whatever. They go into it like it's a brand new thing that got zero experience. They forget to take what they learned from their other jobs and positions and use them in that area. One of the people in our Your Next Level group, Alpha Freedom, he was working in the bank. And I said to him, the bank you worked in, I'll bet you've got tellers there that have been there for 20 or 25 years. He said, yeah, we do. I said, that teller has 25 years of her first year experience. She hasn't gone on to learn. She just keeps repeating her first year for 20, 25 years. The people that expand learn and grow. So this, ladies and gentlemen, learn and grow. Take the experience you've had from other jobs, careers you've had, and combine them, because you're starting from a place of experience. You're not starting from a brand new spot.
What do you think?
Excellent.
What about this time next week we make this a topic? In other words, let's charge what you're worth. Something. Let's come up with a topic like that. Would that be of help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's always
Sure.
good to discuss.
Yeah. Okay. John and Mark, I mean,
Absolutely.
you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
And Peter, one other thing, John, you've said it brilliantly, but I just want to piggyback on it. You're not selling price, people. That's what your competitors are doing. You're selling value. And as Peter said, you're selling transformation. And if you're not, then maybe you need to rework things, because if you say you charge X and people are trying to justify the price, then you're competing on the price. When you compete on value, like for instance, this guy that we may or may not get together, but because he wants to do it on a performance basis, tells me he's open to the fact that if I create profit for him, he's willing to share some of that profit with me. That's a value proposition. That's not, oh, I charge X. Now, I do charge X, don't get me wrong, but if there's an opportunity where X is less and I can make more because I understand enough of the variables, then I'm going to do performance-based. If you're a retailer out there and you're looking to get more cash flow after you talk to Peter and John, please get together with me, because I am telling you, we can expand your revenue. Absolutely. Especially now, let me be clear, if you're not franchised, you got corporate hanging over your head, I'm not your guy. But if you're independently owned, let's talk.
One of the things there, you just brought up a great point, Mark. There's no prize for being second cheapest. If you want to be the Walmart of your industry, go for it. But somebody can always beat your price. When you compete on price, you're competing for the scraps. When you compete on value, you set your own price. So good point, Mark.
You know, it reminds me of that story about the hairdresser, and all these guys, these hairdressers were all competing against each other on price, right? Annika put her price down, then Tina put her price down, Alan, he put his price down, Peter put his price down. They're all competing at the end. So in the end, they're all looking at charging a $5 haircut, right? That's what it amounted to. And this guy on the other side of the road, okay, was making a fortune, because his sign at the front said simply this: we fix $5 haircuts.
Brilliant. Wow.
Now, I don't know about the validity of the story, but the message is clear, right?
Wow.
Oh,
That is awesome.
That comes down to, if you wanted to open a restaurant, what would you want? Would you want that secret sauce? Would you want whatever, blah, blah, blah. It comes down to, no, you want hungry people. That's what's going to fill your restaurant and make you money. You know, the secret sauce and all the rest of it, that came after years of their being in business and branding and all the rest of that. But if you want a good, successful restaurant, you want hungry people. There's your answer. You're not looking for any super fancy sauce or anything. Just good food, good prices, and hungry people.
The late, great Gary Halbert, a starving crowd. Absolutely. Well, it's the same in business. We're looking for the people that need and want what we have. And I'll say something else too, ladies and gentlemen. I keep talking about this back end. You got to get into this. You also got to realize that probably every vendor you have has no back end. You could be their back end.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, look, we're nearly running out of time. I want to keep it to the hour maximum, okay?
Have you got time for one very quick point, Peter?
Yeah, just before that, Alan,
Yes.
Just so you know in advance,
Yeah.
next week's topic will be, are you charging what you're worth? Okay? Alan, over to you.
Okay, it's just a very quick illustration of what you've all been talking about, giving value. And I was talking with a friend of mine recently who's very stressed about a tender she wants to get involved in. And I gave her the advice not to tender the job. And I actually offered her an open book basis whereby she could get the work that she wanted procured on a cost plus basis, open book, absolute transparency. And she preferred to go what's called the traditional route, which means that you go out, you get 6 bids in and you choose the lowest one, and then you go through fighting the battles until you reach the end of the job. You don't know when it will be, and you don't know what the end cost will be. So it brought to mind just a few seconds of advice, which is what I gave her, could have saved her money, but in fact the client she's dealing with doesn't want to do that, so that's fine. I didn't lose anything. I advised her correctly. You just need to listen when you're given good advice. That's all I say.
Okay. One last thing too. Thank you, Alan. One last thing. In our Facebook community, Small Business Breakthroughs, tomorrow John and Mark and I will put a PDF there called Top 20 Reasons Why Cashflow is the Lifetime of Your Business. It'll follow up what we did today. Okay, that's one thing. It'll be there for you. And secondly, which I think is also important for you to realize, is that as far as these sessions are concerned, they're your sessions. We don't have any ulterior motive in here at all. Okay, we're not. All we are trying to do is to be helpful and supportive. That's all we're trying to do. Okay. And as long as you take that on board and be prepared to share with each other and us, because we can learn from you as well. We don't know all. We don't pretend to know all. Tina and Annika, they've got incredible skills in their areas as well. And so I am prepared and I am willing and I am excited to learn from them as well. And so is John and so is Mark. We all are, right? And the last thing I'd say is this: in terms of generating cash flow, one of the greatest ways I've found that it costs you nothing, right, is to be conversational on LinkedIn, not on Facebook. Be conversational on LinkedIn. And everything you put in comment form, and in fact, Annika, I've seen you, and you are getting really good at this, and I'm very proud of what you're doing, right? Brilliant. If you get a chance, look at Annika's posts and things. But the idea is to have a conversation and say what you truly believe in. And if someone says something that you think is really true, tell them that. Wow, Tina, that is brilliant. When you said X, Y, and Z, that really stopped me in my track. Whatever you want to say, right? Whatever's in your heart. All I'm telling you is this: because I have been doing this for a while now, and I do not have to spend any money on advertising at all. People reach out because they want to talk to you because they can see what you do, right? It's got nothing to do with paid promotions and all that sort of rubbish. It's to do with being human. Just be human. Just be yourself. And play the long game. Don't expect things to happen overnight. Okay? Play the long game. Anyway. Oh, I'm on a soapbox there. Sorry.
Very well done, my friend. Very well done.
Anyway, okay, everybody, thank you for your help if you found that helpful. Okay, and we'll talk to you again soon. All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Everyone.
All right,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Continued success. All right.